in protecting your energy, the classes are different each time because there's literally 3 million ways that you can protect your energy, and all of them come into play at varying times. Some are stronger when you're going through like hard times, and some are just your basic daily protections. But it's super important that everybody knows how to protect themselves, because with all the energy that's going on right now and it all being so weird, people are just coming in and they're like, I'm being inundated, or they feel like they're being cursed or something. And all it is just nobody ever said, this is how you protect yourself, and this is what you accept and what you don't accept. So we're going to go through all of those. Well, not all of them today, because my goodness, that would be a very long class. Yes. So last week we did activating your 12D violet flame. And so that was a good one to do. Wendy, you did that one. Have you been practicing it?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Every day. And
good.
Such a self-regulating.
And so that's a really good one, especially when you are getting hit from like all sides. That's like one of the biggest protections that I find that there is, next to like the Celtic cross and things like that. And we'll go into all of those at some point too. But today I'm feeling like the topic needs to be the disconnect. So what we don't realize is that when we think of someone else and they think of us, we create little portals between each other. Right? Even if they're not thinking of you. Have you ever had somebody just pop into your head for no reason, and then they call or they text or email, or you find out like you were like in their language, in their talk recently? It's because you are noticing that they are tapping into your energy. So if I am, okay, we'll take this for example. 3 weeks, I said, man, I have not seen Jessica in I can't tell you how long. And literally she showed up 2 days later. And she may not have recognized it, but she noticed me tapping into her energy, because my thoughts of her created a portal to her. The fact that we know each other creates a portal. So you need to realize that it's not only just the good, but also sometimes the ugly that can be created. So we have what I would like to call these little string attachments, millions of them coming off of us, and they go to all the people that we know and interact with on a daily basis. So those portals are two-way portals. Doesn't matter who opened it, they're two-way. So if you think about, for instance, your sister, you've instantly reactivated that portal, because eventually over time, as you don't see people, they kind of loosen up a little bit, kind of get drawn back. But then the moment you actually think about that person and put your intent into them, that portal opens up strong. So you, for example, think of your sister. You've now reopened that energetic portal string between the two of you. But the difference is now, even though your thoughts may have been wonderful, loving, and good, if she doesn't feel the same way, she can send something back through that is not as good. So this happens a lot with family members who don't get along. Like one person may want to have a relationship, but the other one doesn't. And so they'll send, they don't know why they thought of you. And it was probably because you tapped into their energy. And now they're sending back something. And you're like, that's when people feel like they're being cursed. So we're going to go over closing down those portals, because just like we open them, the problem with spirituality is we do 90% of it not understanding the why and the repercussions of it. So therefore we think that spirituality has this negative connotation behind it, this negative forces that can be there. And the truth is that it is. The only problem is it's only a problem because we don't know how to combat them, and we don't know our boundaries within them or our power within them. And so that's what we're going to create with this class, is our power inside of the energies around us and how to protect ourselves when they come through. So today we're going to envision all of those little strings. We're going to learn how to activate into them and activate out of them. So we subconsciously just accept that all of these little strings or attachments are there, that we're all connected, but we don't go through and actively shut down the ones that need to be shut down. And that's what we're going to do today. So it's a bit of a slight meditation. If you have something specific that, if you want to take a second and think about it, that you're like, you know what, this has been happening to me lately, how do I protect myself in that, we can go ahead and take care of that today too. But for the most part, we're just going to focus on seeing what connections we have open, closing down the ones we want to close down, and just learning a mantra that helps you recognize your power. So, and that mantra is, this is not mine. I do not accept it as my own. It must return to sender. Because this is the thing. When someone else is tapping into your energy and you're aware of it, and you think of someone who normally is a negative thing for you, you're thinking of them because they tapped into your energy.
And then when you think they tap into our energy, and then you immediately know what could it be.
Yeah.
You send the bad energy as well, because you don't.
Exactly. You're not really sure why they came into your field. You just know that all of a sudden they're there, they're in your mind, and what comes through, you can feel it. You're like, ooh, that is dirty. I don't like it. It's ugly. It's nasty. Why are they here? Why are they in my mind? It's because they accessed your energy. They brought their attention to you. We are telepathic beings. We are not empaths. We're not psychics. We're not all these things. Those are all small words to describe something much bigger. We are telepathic. We just don't know it anymore. We have forgotten it. We like to instead little it down into small words like, oh, I'm clairaudient, or I'm clairvoyant, or I'm clairsentient, or I'm an empath, or all these other things. But the truth is you're bigger than that. You're telepathic. So that is the first thing that you need to know when deciding to protect your energy, is that if you're a telepathic being, so is everybody else. But nobody has more power over your energy than you. So curses can only exist if you accept them. The bad stuff that gets pumped through that you can feel when you're like, ooh, I feel it. It's in your awareness. You can push it back to where it stays in your awareness, so you're aware and you're like, okay, I see you, but not today, Satan, and push it out. You know, it doesn't have to be your actual reality. So we are going to start with a little bit of a meditative process, and then we are going to tap in and see. Are you all seers or are you feelers? So when your eyes are closed and I tell you to imagine a blue pool, can you see that pool, or do you just feel the pool? You can see the pool? What about you? If I tell you to close your eyes and imagine a blue pool, can you see the pool in your mind? Or do you feel it? How do you tap in? Are you a seer or a feeler? You can see a blue pool if I tell you to see a blue pool. Okay, so since we're all visual, third eyers, I will say imagine, but if you can't imagine it, then just replace the word imagine with feel. So that way it's still the same thing, because feeling is one of the strongest emotions we have. It comes without sight, or without what I call human limitations, which is sight, smell, taste. It's just an innate energy inside your body. So whichever one comes through the hardest for you, just roll with it. All right, so find a nice comfy position. We'll start with a couple of breaths to get us in and get us started so our bodies can tap in. Do you need to grab something?
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah, whatever you need. You want to lay?
Has to be laid.
You can do whatever you want, however you are comfortable.
Yeah. You want a blanket? Yeah. It's okay.
No, you're good.
Girl, I always lay for sound.
Good.
Don't worry.
I know, right? I love it. All right, so we're going to start with a couple of different breath cycles. I will guide you through 3 different breath cycles. So first, we'll just tap into the body with a square breath. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, again, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Next breath in from the belly button, then the chest, and out. There we go. Beautiful. Keep with your breath. Activating the system, breathing from the belly button, expanding through all 5 lobes of the lung. Beautiful. Just a couple more, and then we'll shift this breath just a little bit to be a 360 breath. Beautiful. Next breath, in from the belly button, in from the chest, expand through the back. Belly button, chest, back, out. Belly button, chest, back, out. Beautiful. A few more of those, and then we'll move into a pranic breath. Beautiful. 2 more. There we go. Maneuvering into a pranic breath, fully in from the belly button. Belly button pushes out, all the way out. Breathing from that diaphragm only. Exhale fully. In from that belly button, push that belly button out. Exhale, pull the belly button into the spine. A few more. Belly button all the way out. Exhale, pull the belly button in. We'll do 2 more of those. Last one. And then allow the body to resume a normal breath. Maybe the body doesn't want to breathe at the moment. Maybe you feel the tingles from a slight over-oxygenation. Beautiful. While we're in this space, I want you to go ahead and bring your focus to the center of your mind. Gently look down towards the tip of your nose. From behind your eyelids, the eyes will cross slightly and look down. This is your Buddhist gaze. The room will darken and blacken around you as you shift down into another level of consciousness. And from in this space, I want you to activate your light body. You'll do that by focusing on your skin, and bringing your focus a little further down into the muscle. Then tap down even further, get into the blood and lymph. See your blood cells as they roll through the body. And go even deeper into that cell until you can see your atoms. And then go even deeper into the atom until you can see your DNA. And then go even deeper into the DNA, inside of your DNA, to the slightest molecule you have, and you'll see that it's photons. Start to grow the light deep inside of your DNA. And as you grow and expand the light from these photons, your DNA starts to light up. And then your cells start to light up. And then your blood and lymph starts to light up. It travels into the bones, and that starts to get brighter. And then the muscles, and then your skin. Before you know it, your light body has been activated, shining as brightly in this dark space as it possibly can. And then I'm going to have you take your awareness out of the light. Step your awareness back so that you can see your light body from the outside looking in. And as you see your light body sitting there, glowing in all of its beautiful glory, look around it for areas that look like they need to be expanded. Maybe it looks like a weak spot. Maybe it looks like a dull area, but look for those areas as you maneuver around your light self that look like they need a little bit of activating. And then I want you to breathe in from your awareness, drawing in universal healing. This is greater than Reiki. It's greater than anything here on earth. Draw in the healing molecules that exist in the universe for us all. And then exhale and push them out to your light body and repair any of those small spaces that look like they need it. If you can't see a small space that needs repair, just send it to the whole and find that your light body starts to activate even brighter, even wider, till it starts to almost look crystalline, multifaceted, beautiful colors starting to fill your light body, like an aura quartz crystal, filled with beautiful pastels. Color moves in and out of the white, shimmering. Light body is fully activated. Start to see small little emanations starting to come off of your light body. And as these little emanations start to branch off, you notice that they are connected to another light body, someone outside of you. You'll notice your biggest ones first, the ones that connect to the people you physically know and interact with. And then you'll start to see millions and millions of smaller ones coming off. At first, it just looks like a sheen or a glow coming off of your light body. And then you realize it's millions of tinier, little connections, showing you how you are literally connected to every single being in this planet. Allow all those connections to show themselves. Your big ones may be acting like solar flares, the most active ones emanating out and also reverberating back in. Don't forget your connections are a two-way street. We don't want to sever any connections because that means severing a part of yourself, a part of the whole. We just want to acknowledge and grow those connections for a moment. And as we grow them, start to pump universal healing out into them. Repair those strings. Repair the energy that's been pushed through them back and forth, strengthening all of those strings. Taking a few moments to strengthen, to send love and repair into the strings that bind and connect us all. And as you do so, you'll start to notice some strings changing in color from crystalline and white to a deeper ray, more of a red. These strings, these connections, these chords that start to change color represent the people that you need to energetically protect yourself from. It means that the intentions that get sent back and forth through that string, whether from you or them, are not always in the highest good of either one of you. And that's okay. Because the first thing we're going to do is repair the portion that we are responsible for. The portions that we sent out that may not have been in the highest good. Start to fill love into those strings, into those chords. And as you do, I want you to repeat the mantra, "This was not yours. You do not deserve to keep my energy. I choose to call it back and transmute it in love to send back out. This was not yours. You did not deserve this energy. I draw my energy back to transmute it in love." And as you continue to draw back your energy, those chords start to maneuver from red to orange to yellow. Keep drawing back your energy, transmuting it into love and resending a loving energy through those chords until all of those chords that have changed color are now a beautiful yellow. Breathe universal life, energy, and love into those chords. And then simultaneously, we will start to transmute the energy that was sent in. I want you to temporarily push a safety bubble out around you that stops their energy from reaching you for the moment. Just a little energetic shield that keeps it at bay, right out in front of you so you can see it. And then I want you to continue to grow that bubble. And as it does, it starts to push their energy back down the strings and chords to them. As this bubble expands and pushes their energies back, repeat as this bubble gets bigger. This is not mine. I do not accept it as my own. It must return to sender. Bubbles getting bigger and bigger. This is not mine. I do not accept it as my own. It must return to sender. One more time, push that bubble all the way to them, all the way out, right up to the opening of their cord. This is not mine. I do not accept it as my own. It must return to sender. Hold that bubble right up against the cord that connects into them. And then I want you to fortify that bubble and turn it into a filter. One that will transmute anything they send before it comes down the cord. Make the intention that anything they send out will be transmuted into the highest good for both of you. Anything that I receive will pass through my filter and be transmuted into the highest good for us all. One more time, make it solid and permanent now. That filter's in place. Anything that comes through will pass through my filter and be transmuted into the highest good of all. Bring your focus back to the light body. See as those yellow cords turn from yellow to teal to solid green. Green is the ray of love. You don't choose to cut the cords, for we are all connected. But you have the power on how to use those cords. I choose to use my cords in love. Turn those cords green. And then from green, see them start to elevate back into white and back into your crystalline light. And now look outside, look at your whole light body as a whole from outside. Start to see that universal healing and love is starting to flow into you. Just massively flow. Your intent was to be connected to all in the most loving way. And with that draws in mass amounts of universal love and support. Allow it to continue to fill your light. Breathe it into your crystalline body. Find your consciousness moving back into that light body. And now your consciousness from within looks out into your Buddhist gaze, into that all-knowing darkness. And then shift your gaze from down and low back to center. Noticing more light behind the eyelids. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and coming back to this space. How are you feeling? Good, okay. So, I personally find I understand why people like to cut cords, but I will explain why I find it not beneficial to do so. Cutting a cord, severing a cord, a tie to another person is severing the cord to the other self. Mm-hmm. So if we are all divine replicas of each other, if we are all just different perspectives of the whole, it means that there's self and other self. And we are all one. And cutting any part of that is cutting off the own self. I find that it's better and healthier to, instead of cut cords, to create your boundaries at the seed, in the place where they are at the highest good, and so are you, and that is etherically, spiritually. You are the most powerful in that realm. And then that realm transmutes out into the physical realm. We like to do things backwards. We like to be like hardcore, hold the boundaries in this realm, but we're letting the spiritual realm go. We're letting it be open and susceptible instead of going into it, tapping in, and that's where you set up your protections. So I choose usually not to cut cords. I've never cut a cord with my mother. Well, Lord knows there were times I wanted to. I've even had the conversation about, can we create a new contract? And the answer was no, because the contract that we had here is valid. It is what it was supposed to be. So I just had to learn to find love and space in that. The contract's still there. I'm okay with that. The cord's still there. I've just chosen to protect myself in it so that I don't feel the harm that can be pumped through, and vice versa. I don't want to send harm. We're angry at times. We have emotions, and they're strong. And while our good emotions have bigger duration, our hard emotions, or what we call bad, I don't think anything's bad, our hard emotions may have less duration, but they have a bigger energy. You know, like you feel them really strong, but then they dissipate, which is why they say just sleep on it for a day. And then the next day you're like, oh, it's not so hard and heavy anymore. They don't have the duration that the good emotions have. Whereas the good emotions aren't as strong, but man, they last. And that's why they say faith doesn't go this way. Faith is a duration. It's not how much of it do you have, it's how long can you hold it. So same thing with this, back it out. If you're having a problem protecting your energy from someone at that moment, rather than severing cords or trying so hard in the physical world, drop into that non-physical, go find their cord. You can find an individual's cord with the exact same practice that you just did. Breathe, tap in, grow your light, step out, say, show me the cord that connects me to whoever. Follow that cord, strengthen around it, build that filter, send love down, take back your hardness. And that's the first thing. Taking back and realizing our own shit.
Yeah.
Take back our own. It transmutes it enough to allow you to push theirs back in. And literally rebuild that filter, because you'll have to do it. This is a practice you can do over and over and over again. You can even practice with one person at a time if you choose. So if you've got a problem with someone, they're only a problem because you allowed it to be. Go into that place where you're the strongest, push it back, clean, clear, whatever, however your body, mind, etheric tells you to do it. Call in your highest self, be like, help me out, show me what to do, mimic them, but don't cut the cords. Transmute the cords, because you never know when you need that cord and then it's gone. Yeah. You know, or it's not what it's supposed to be because you stopped something. It's like cutting off the circulation on something for a while instead of allowing it to go, but fixing the reason you needed to cut off the circulation. Yes.
For example, if you accidentally cut the cord in the past, can you bring the cord back again?
You can. You absolutely can. You will go in, you will find the severed cord. It probably on your end looks like a darkened or dull spot, because again, I don't truly believe we're meant to cut cords. I get that other people have another idea about that. That is just my idea. If it resonates with you, great. And if it doesn't, fine, cut away. Because I don't really truly feel like there's a wrong or a right way. We're going to do the things we're going to do because they're learning lessons. So if you want to reactivate a cord because this felt more natural to you, then all you do is go in and find the cords. So when I did it, I went in and looked at the body, but I got in close. I got in so close that I could hear this solar styled, it sounds like this noise, like a white noise that's so intense when you get close to the light. I got in so close that I could feel this rumbling on my face, and I saw a little black nub in my thing, like a tiny little I don't know, like when you look at Mars and there's some kind of like flare or solar storm going on Mars and it looks like a dark little dot. That's what it looked like to me. And from there, I just started to draw it out. And as I drew it out and I started to heal it and I started to grow it and grow it and grow it. And as it came out, I went out into the universe to find their cord and started to draw them in together. And they just kind of wound. And at first they didn't want to. They kept freaking moving away and then coming back in and getting close. And finally I was like, I choose to reconnect with you because this is my highest good at the moment. And at that point, it just snapped. You'll figure out what to do, feel, or say to get it to reconnect. And then from there, it was even kind of weird and wonky. I had to go through and heal it, send love through, give intentions. I even had to talk to the cord. I was like, I'm sorry that I severed us. I did this from a place of not knowing, but I now choose to know. I now choose to send love through this cord. Just do your thing and you'll start to work on that cord and you can reconnect the cords. Absolutely can. And I actually found that when I did that the cord I reconnected, all of a sudden, this person was not as hard towards me anymore. All of a sudden it was like, I saw her in person and she was like, hey, and I was like, oh, the cord worked, you know? So the thing is don't try to change the other people on the other side of the cord. Only change your portion of the cord. It automatically changes things on their side. Again, it's quantum entanglement. Don't ever forget that. It automatically changes. The moment you decide to put good out, it automatically changes on the other end.
If we forgot that we in the past got hurt, how can we know that?
You can go in, so don't forget, you are so powerful in that realm. In the spiritual realm, there's nothing you can't do. You ever watch the movie The Matrix? The Matrix shows a physical world where everything's limited. And then a bunch of them choose to tap out of the Matrix. What that said to me was they chose to look below the physical. And when you're below the physical, when you're in what we call a meditative, a prayer state, a etheric state, when you tap in, you have stepped out of the Matrix. They told the truth in that movie. Outside of the Matrix, you are absolutely limitless and powerful. There is nothing you can't do in there. If you decide to go in there and say, I'm going to turn every one of my cords into jumping elephants, they will be jumping elephants. There's nothing you can't do. If you want guidance on something to change because you feel like, I want to change something, but I'm not quite sure how to do that in the highest good, we can create a group that everybody can pitch in because somebody's going to resonate to you. Somebody's going to be like, ooh, that's it. That's how I'm going to do this. And then do it that way. But there's nothing you can't do. You can go in and cut every cord you want. You can say, I choose to be a hermit. I am going to cut every single one of these cords and I am just going to be a single entity living in my own world right now. You can do whatever you want. So go in and do it. There is nothing you can't do. Any and everything you can think and imagine you can do. Just trust and tap into yourself that you're doing it the way you need to at that moment. Which is why I say nothing's truly bad. Because where you are at that moment is always a learning lesson. So how could learning anything be bad? Even though it may have been a hard lesson, doesn't mean it was a bad one. And there's nothing you can't undo either. Quantum entanglement. Any other questions?
I lived quantum entanglement.
I love it.
So.
I kept seeing you being like, oh my gosh.
I know. Every year I was like, oh yeah, that was there. Oh, check. Just
Okay.
it didn't feel so crazy.
Yes.
It happened. I was like, oh yeah, okay, that happened.
Absolutely. So if you have any questions later in the week, just message me. And then next week we'll add on to. So this is meant to add on each week. And eventually you have all the tools you need for protecting yourself and just instantly doing it and instantly backing things off.